Right, everyone. Sorry for the bit of the delay. It was very hard today getting everything set up, but I'm happy to say that after spending some time door knocking, I'm having another town hall this evening, and today's going to be a very special and a little different. We're going to have a bilingual town hall this evening. So today I have with me Sarai Jimenez. She is a community activist here in the city of Hawthorne. At the same time, she is an up and coming actress, but very committed to the city of Hawthorne. And what's very unique is that while I receive the questions either in English or in Spanish, she's going to translate on both ends and, just have a regular town hall, answer any of all questions you guys might have. And let's get to it. But before we start, I kind of wanted to let Sarai have a few moments just to kind of introduce herself and give a little background on what she's up to, especially on her upcoming graduate degree in psychology. So with that, Sarai Jimenez, it's all you.
Yes. Do you want me to cover in English or do you want me to just jump right into Spanish? Because you kind of said it for me in English. I can just jump into Spanish. For those of us who speak Spanish with us today. Hola, mi nombre es Sarai Jimenez. He vivido en Hawthorne por 15 años, más o menos. Y hacer que la comunidad latina tenga una voz es algo que es muy importante para mí. Entonces he estado hablando con Haidar para encontrar maneras para hacer eso posible. Hoy vamos a estar contestando preguntas que en español, en inglés. So si tiene preguntas, por favor, pónganlas en el chat y las contestaremos.
Now, if you could also say that in English, just for those that, might be a little shaky on it.
Yes, I basically said what you said. I said I've been a Hawthorne resident for about 15 years. I'm really passionate about the Latino community having a voice in our city. So I've been working with you on ways that we can make that possible. And I just said we're going to be answering questions in both English and Spanish. So feel free to type it in the chat and we will try our best to get to them.
Yep, thank you so much for that intro. And again, everyone, I want to thank Sarai for kind of helping me set up this special kind of town hall. I know, especially for the Latin community, the Spanish-speaking community, it's been very difficult when receiving all this information from City Hall, just to kind of understand and actually have it translated correctly. Because even when you try and translate colloquially, sometimes it doesn't come out the right way. So Sarai came up to me and said, look, this will be the best way to kind of bridge that gap between City Hall, myself, and the Spanish-speaking community, and to really show that, we're trying to build the community together. We want to hear your complaints. We want to hear the issues that you have. And I don't want you to feel left out just because you're unable to either speak English or understand it. So this is us making City Hall more accommodating to our residents. So
I can just kind of say that in Spanish. So for those of them who aren't understanding. Queríamos hacer esto bilingüe porque queríamos que la comunidad latina o la comunidad que solo habla español tenga la oportunidad de conectar con nosotros, con Haidar, con la ciudad y poder recibir la información, poder entenderla, poder hacer preguntas y conectarnos más.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, while you guys are out there, there isn't really any echoing back and forth. And if not, I'll see a thumbs up. If everything seems to be good, we'll just keep going. Any echo? Everything's good?
Todo suena bien.
Okay, perfect. Roberto Fuentes, thanks for joining today. Alethea Diaz, thank you for joining my special town hall. And honestly, any kind of questions that you may have, that's what I'm here to do, is just any and all. Let's see here. Oh, we're getting a call.
Preguntas, por favor, escríbanlas. Y gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Hola, Roberto. Hola, Alethea. Creo que lo estoy diciendo correctamente.
Let's see here. We have one here. Let's see. Just pull it up. There we go. And oh, all right, everything's up. Let's see here. Well, first I want to start off with saying that, of course, you know, the upcoming elections coming up. It's November 3rd. There are a lot of residents have asked me, are there drop-off boxes or there polling locations? So a little update on that. We do have a couple drop boxes here in the city of Hawthorne. There's one at the Memorial Center, and there's also going to be one at the Hawthorne Library.
The library.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
In addition to that, we're going to have these polling assistance centers set up as well at Memorial Park. So if you're a senior or you have any kind of disability or difficulty getting your ballot in or even filling it out or whatever the case might be, we're having these polling centers set up, I want to say 10 days prior to the election date. And they'll be there for 3 days, and they kind of guide you through A through Z. So if you receive like an English ballot, for example, and you really can't understand what the propositions are, or what the candidates have on their resume or their bio, they'll have individuals there to actually translate it for you and guide you through the whole entire process. Want to take that one over and translate?
Yes, I'll try my best to do all of that. Haidar está explicando que con la elección, que ya estamos en tiempos de elección, que por favor voten. Vamos a tener lugares para dejar sus papeles de votación. Hay una en el Memorial Center que está en el segundo, y va a haber una en la librería. Es una caja muy grande que dice elección oficial. Y si necesita ayuda, vamos a tener ayudantes para ayudarles a votar. In the Memorial Center, we're going to have polling help, correct?
Correct.
Correct. So sí, en el Memorial Center van a, como 10 días antes, van a estar ahí para ayudarles. Si tienen preguntas, si no entienden algo, si recibió su boleta en inglés, pero lo entiende más en español, ellos van a estar ahí para ayudarles.
Let's see with that. But before I jump into anything else, I kind of see if there's anyone out there with questions. If not, I'm going to go through some of the emails that we got regarding the town hall and answer to those. Let's see here.
Vamos a ver si agarramos algunas preguntas por email, correo electrónico.
Let's see. Now I know, and I will get to that point of many have asked about the, campaign mailers that's been going out and whether or not they're true and things of that nature. I know that you've been hearing on the other side of, why certain things that are mentioned are not correct. And of course, my name and reputation is very big to me. So of course, to address those and to show that the whole point of everything that especially I do and my team does is this to show transparency. And the alarming thing is if you really put yourself in this kind of perspective, if something as small as, let's say, party preference or where you stand on certain policies, if you put in so much effort just to hide something that small, which is kind of who you are as a person and what you believe, it's very unethical to have the other half of the population thinking that you're liberal when you're not, or if you're conservative when you're not. And if you push that hard to just hide that, then think to yourself, if it was something even more serious, imagine the amount of effort that's put in just to suppress that kind of voice, just to suppress that kind of story coming out. So it's right now, it's kind of like airing out the entire closet of all skeletons. The whole message for this campaign is, whatever happens on November 3rd, it's all about really having everything out in the open to really get City Hall back on track, City of Hawthorne back on the right foot. Regardless of who comes out on November 3rd, it's the right thing to do to have the public really know where we're at, where we're standing, and who they are actually talking to when they're trying to cast their vote. I'll pause there just so you can kind of catch up with the translation part.
Haidar está diciendo que sí vamos a tocar el tema de las cosas que han recibido por correo, que la gente ha estado haciendo preguntas, ha estado preguntando que si la información es verdad, y solo queremos decir que la reputación y el nombre de nosotros es muy importante y no vamos a mandar cosas que no sean verdad, porque ser transparente es algo que es muy importante para nosotros. Guardar algo como tu preferencia de partido es algo que se siente es no ser honesto y tener en duda a tus residentes. Entonces, si estás escondiendo algo así tan pequeño, ¿qué más estás escondiendo? Algo más serio, más importante, porque dice que el que gane con el noviembre 3, lo más importante para la ciudad es ser transparente con los residentes, hacer que la ciudad sea mejor.
You know, I wish I could, be that fluent in Spanish. I was good. I was almost there. Thank you. I need help on that. I was close in high school. I was like an AP Spanish, but nowhere near where you are at. So
we'll work on it.
There you go. Let's see. I have a let's see here. A question from Pamela Davis. Thank you for joining. Yes, we need representation, change, and consistency. Sincerely, a millennial born and raised in Hawthorne. We need to clean house and wise up as a community. Haidar Awad for mayor, a change will soon come. We deserve to look just as good as the rest of the beach cities and communities. Pamela, thank you for that comment. And you're correct. It always irritated me for the longest time, especially for the past 5 years. Hawthorne's always been seen as the stepchild of the South Bay. Even though we're only a few miles away from the beach, and right now, we're just less than a mile from the new NFL stadium. The new Clippers arena is being built next to the NFL stadium, and we have SpaceX, Tesla, our own airport. It does not make sense for where Hawthorne is positioned to still be seen in this light. Unfortunately, we should be at the top, honestly. We have that perfect kind of geographic location of being close enough to the beach, but not having those high beach prices, especially when it comes to housing, which is a very hot topic, especially now. We know with COVID, a lot of people are, they haven't either been able to find a new job, or in that case, even, afford the rent of the place they're living in. And that's very scary, because at the end of the day, if you have to worry about just even staying in the city of Hawthorne just to put a roof over, your family's head, clothes on their back, and especially food. Food right now is becoming a very hard thing for families to come by. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to also mention that we still have the Hawthorne Good Neighbors Meal Project going on. Right now, it's at the Baja Fish Tacos restaurant, which is also known as the Falcon Inn, and we are doing it every day from 12 to 2. And we still have 30 meals going out. And what I really love about the restaurant, especially at Falcon Inn, the two owners, they're just a joy to be around. It's a husband and wife. Just to see them in the kitchen and to see that, that joy and laughter going back and forth, and the amount of love they put into that food. I know I've finally, like, knock on wood, gained a little bit of weight from eating that wonderful food. And it's really a joy to kind of see this community kitchen come out from the whole program. So from this, we actually kind of came up with the idea of starting what we're calling Hawthorne Community Kitchen. So the Falcon Inn owners actually had a separate restaurant that, unfortunately, when COVID hit, they were just about to open their second location, and then they had to close their doors. Now, a way to kind of bring them back in Did I kind of pause for the translation, or you got this?
Yeah, go ahead. We can finish this thought.
So to kind of help, and again, it's always about rebuilding back the, mom pop shops we have here, and to really bring that community support around our residents here that are actually putting in the effort to kind of build their family and their, financial stability here. With those funds that we're getting for the meal program, we are now shifting for them to actually open up their doors and creating this Hawthorne community kitchen. Now, the unique concept behind it is Hawthorne. Actually, I'll stop there before the unique concept.
Before the unique concept. Sí, estábamos leyendo el comentario de Pamela Davis. Y Pamela Davis dice que merecemos estar arriba con los restos de las ciudades aquí en the South Bay. Estamos cerca de la playa, estamos cerca de los estadios nuevos que están construyendo y deberíamos estar arriba con todos esos. Estaba hablando de todo con el coronavirus que está pasando ahorita. Hemos tenido, la gente ha perdido el trabajo, perdido dinero, es trabajoso agarrar comida. A veces Haidar ha creado un programa de comida que de 12 a 12 to 2, correct? Falcon Inn.
Correct.
De 12 a 2 en un restaurante que se llama el Falcon Inn, está por la Rosecrans. Regalan 30 comidas y le encanta el ambiente ahí. Los dueños son una pareja que hacen la comida con mucho amor y con el dinero que va hacia ese programa, también Haidar está trabajando en abrir una cocina comunitaria aquí en Hawthorne para involucrar más a la comunidad. Go ahead.
Perfect. So back to our, so the unique concept is this. A lot of residents here don't really know that we actually have community gardens throughout the city of Hawthorne. And to kind of bring more publicity to it and to kind of help that grow and have Hawthorne be more of a green city, the idea is to actually incorporate the vegetables from the community garden into the menu at the community kitchen. And this way, we're also going to kind of show and teach the residents that what you could grow in your own backyard and create these restaurant style meals at extremely affordable prices. You don't have to go out and like break the bank just to have a meal, especially during COVID. It's very hard to come by. Even vegetables and fruits, the prices are just skyrocketing. So by this, we actually want to expand the community garden to be at a point where every resident in Hawthorne can actually take advantage of the available vegetables and fruits. And there's also like a larger scale idea behind it as well. A lot of you know that the freeway abatements, correct? And those are like the bush and grass areas that run alongside the freeway, where you tend to see a lot of homeless encampments there and unfortunately a lot of unhoused residents. So a unique concept to all of it, to really kind of circle back and put everything together, is creating those abatements and shifting them into actual community gardens. So what's kind of unique is now you're using unutilized land to an actual purpose. We just take out all the rubbish and actually restart and have them as community gardens. Now, this is how we can also help the unhoused community that, unfortunately may be going through some rough times and are living alongside the abatements. Offering them a job opportunity to actually tend to the community garden themselves. This way, it's kind of a win-win situation. They get to actually get back and get their feet under themselves, become part of the workforce, and we're helping our good neighbors. A lot of these unhoused residents, we tend to forget were just our neighbors a few months ago, even pre-COVID. This is just a slow way of addressing the issue and a really kind of warm heart kind of approach to, addressing all these COVID issues that's been arising. I'll pause right there.
Yes. And I think Rolando is asking for the address for the Falcon Inn. I was trying to pull that up. If you want to pull that up while I translate what you just said.
I'm sorry?
The address for the Falcon Inn.
I will.
You can pull it up while I talk about that. Sí, con la cocina comunitaria, en Hawthorne tenemos jardines comunitarios aquí que muchos residentes no saben eso. Y el concepto de la cocina comunitaria es que queremos usar los vegetales, la comida que crece en los jardines comunitarios para hacer comidas estilo restaurante en la cocina comunitaria, para enseñarles que sí, la comida saludable sí es accesible. Queremos que eventualmente todos los residentes tengan acceso a los jardines comunitarios. Y la otra idea es los espacios que están junto del freeway. Queremos hacer los jardines comunitarios y queremos darle trabajo a la gente que ha perdido trabajo, a la gente que ha perdido sus casas. Queremos que ellos nos ayuden a mantener estos locales y así crecemos más comida saludable, más comida natural y al mismo tiempo podemos ayudar a nuestros vecinos que a lo mejor están teniendo a lo mejor fueron afectados por lo que está pasando este año o por cualquier razón. Sí.
Sorry about that. I was mute. So again, thank you for that. Before I continue, the address for the Falcon Inn, which is also, it has two names. The Falcon, it's the Falcon Inn. At the same time, it's the Big O Fish Brews and Grill. And they kept both names. The restaurant for many years has been called the Falcon Inn. It's been known, it's almost like a Hawthorne staple. And I heard that they're going to be transitioning back into the Falcon Inn name, which I love. They're open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And what's also unique about the restaurant, and I love the fact they took advantage of this, is that the Falcon Inn actually built a outside patio eating area. I think with around like 15 tables with like TVs set up, and it's an amazing place to be, especially on Sunday if you're trying to catch the football game. Everything's COVID friendly. There's enough separation between everyone, and it's a very nice, homey kind of feel atmosphere, especially with the amazing food that they're cooking in the back. The also unique thing is that you'll also see murals painted all around the walls, and those murals were painted by a lot of our community members here, Dulce Stein and Danielle from the city of Hawthorne. She sits on the Parks and Rec. They both really started this initiative of painting the murals there. And I want to thank the owners there for actually taking that initiative. It's very difficult to actually give some of your property away to, local artists that you have no idea if it's going to come out, good or not. So just the fact that these are the type of owners that are actually running this restaurant, please, whenever you get a chance, whether it's for the meal project, the community kitchen, or just to kind of give them extra support and show that city of good neighbors kind of effort, please come out. They're at 5023 West Rosecrans Avenue, Hawthorne, California. Again, that's 5023 Rosecrans Avenue, Hawthorne, California.
Yes. Rolando estaba preguntando por la dirección del local donde estamos haciendo el programa de las comidas. Hay 30 comidas cada día, entonces puedes llamar, vamos a poner el número ahí para reservar tu comida. Estaba hablando del local, se llama The Falcon Inn y es un lugar, es un ambiente muy bonito. Todo es seguro ahorita por el coronavirus. Te puedes sentir seguro. Tienen murales que fueron pintados por artistas locales de aquí de Hawthorne, Dulce y Daniel. Y es tan lindo que los dueños del Falcon Inn han dejado que la comunidad se involucre ahí con algo tan bonito, con arte, con pintar. Entonces, voy a poner en el chat el número donde llamar para reservar tu comida, 30 comidas cada día. Y si pueden visitarlos, pueden ver por ustedes mismos qué rica la comida es.
Thank you for that. I'm going to go through the chat real quick. Dr. Ali Awad, thank you so much for saying that. I'm really trying to make sure that I kind of live up to that standard that you're holding me at, and to kind of really change what it means to be a public servant. Yeah, a little different. It's for far too long we kind of get the same kind of suit and tie elected, but we kind of lost that whole rolling up their sleeves and just getting to work. And that's what the residents kind of need, especially now, is that leadership, is that sense of direction of where to take not only the city, but how to take our residents, our community, to actually come out of this COVID pandemic back to how they were pre-COVID. I know it sounds like a very difficult and daunting task to do and to get to. But look, the old saying is, if you shoot for the stars, at least you land on the moon. And look, we're shooting up high. A lot of you see me like staying up late for these town halls, or even sending out emails later, text messages. Again, when you see, if you receive an email or text late in the evening, it's just because I wanted to get back and make sure that at least you had a response. I am out now door knocking as well, answering any questions at the door. At the same time, kind of calling residents as I'm like traversing through the neighborhood. So we'll be up tomorrow knocking as well. So I'll send out, and I thought it was something different. I'm actually going to send out an email of which neighborhood I'm going to be in. So just to kind of, if you had any questions or something, at least like I come to your door, we can have our one-on-one discussion.
Safely. COVID friendly. Oh, yes. Haidar está explicando que es muy importante para él que los líderes de nuestra ciudad hagan eso, a ser líderes, que se pongan a trabajar. Eso es todo lo que él quiere hacer. Quiere regresar a la ciudad a cómo estaba antes de esta pandemia y mejor. Y ha estado yendo de puerta a puerta para conocer a los residentes personalmente, y mañana va a continuar eso, va a mandar un email diciendo qué parte de la ciudad va a estar. Entonces, si usted tiene una pregunta, nomás lo espera y le puede hacer cualquier pregunta, pueden tener conversación personalmente. También le pueden enviar un correo electrónico, lo pueden enviar en español, y ahí también le podemos contestar. I added that they can also just email you questions, or in Spanish and English we'll answer. And yes, if you don't go knocking on their door. One second, sorry to interrupt you. They're saying they're having trouble hearing us.
I was on mute.
Am I on mute?
No, you're. I was. So it would be an echo.
Okay.
I'll start over again. Sorry about that. So yes. To answer her, to kind of reply to what she said. I actually want to thank Sarai Jimenez for actually, helping me out with this new initiative of bridging the gap, especially between the communication. So if you do send me emails in Spanish, luckily I have Sarai to kind of help me navigate and ensure that as I'm responding back in Spanish, it's actually in the correct grammar and the conjugation. I always had an issue with the grammar, especially when it comes like to, the nosotros, and you have to, translate it. It's unique. It's a lot harder than Arabic. So it'll be fun to actually get this right and be 3 languages. It will be,
Fun.
a goal.
Let me just can you guys hear him now? Let's just make sure. Hopefully.
Yeah, because I'm not muted on my end.
Yeah, those came in while you were just talking, so I just want to make sure that. All right, I guess. Oh, perfect. They can hear you.
Excellent.
Marta Valenzuela says she loves your leadership and you have good energy.
Oh, thank you so much. That's all I'm trying to do is bring good energy. And I just love being around just people, which is kind of great. So it kind of fits in the wheelhouse of the more I get to have other people smile, the better my day gets and the more energy I get. So even though you might think of, oh, I don't want to, call or text or email or complain or be the punching bag. No, by all means, I'm here to work for you guys. There is no like higher level. It's the opposite. You guys are actually my boss and not the other way around. So please never have that feeling of, oh no, should I email or text or call or be afraid? The elected should always be afraid of the public because you guys are basically dictating whether or not we stay in our job. So we work for you and we should actually strive to make you guys happy and that high level of customer satisfaction.
Sí, para contestar el comentario de Marta, la buena energía es algo que es muy importante para Haidar, para todos nosotros. Es atraer buena energía a esta ciudad, a la comunidad, va a ayudarnos a todos. Y él cree que, si alguna vez ustedes tengan miedo de mandar un texto, de llamar, de dejar un comentario, de mandar una queja, todo lo que ustedes tengan que decir, se lo pueden decir, él va a contestar, para eso está. Él piensa que los líderes de la ciudad deben estar ahí para el público y deben estar accesibles para ustedes. Gracias por tu comentario.
I actually knew that last few words.
Thank you for your comment. I added that I spoke for you in saying that you believe that our leaders should be accessible to the public.
Oh, hands down.
Always.
Especially during especially now during like a pandemic like this, just being on a digital format, actually it makes it it gives you less of an excuse to be accessible because now you can basically be at home or at a restaurant or in your, regardless of where you are, the fact that everything is basically on Zoom or Facebook Live, there isn't really a reason why you shouldn't be that accessible to the residents. And that's really what I'm trying to change. And I've been doing that, since the first day of COVID. And I'm glad to see that, the audience is still there. You guys are loving everything that's going out. And even after the pandemic, I just love the setup so much that actually continuing this post-COVID is what I'm going to continue to do. It just seems to be a very nice and fun way to actually communicate and connect. But at the same time, having that sense of, what's that word? Being real and not trying to be on this, ivory tower.
Being on the same level.
Thank you.
We're all the same. We're all on the same level. Yes. We're all the same.
If you can translate that part.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness, where did you start? We started with, sí, virtual, digital. Especialmente ahora que todo ha sido virtual, no hay excusa para no estar accesible al público. Y él ha estado haciendo esto desde el primer día de esta pandemia. Y es algo que va a seguir haciendo después de que todo esto se acabe, porque es muy importante conectar con ustedes y oír lo que tienen que decir, porque así se va a hacer la ciudad mejor. We're all of us working together is going to make Hawthorne better. Todos trabajamos juntos, nuestra ciudad va a crecer.
Couldn't have said it better than myself. I kind of want to go through some of the comments and kind of give a shout out to, I want to make sure I'm not skipping over anybody. Francisco Orozco, thank you for the shout out for Haidar Awad for mayor. I appreciate you joining the call. And the comment you said that the city of Hawthorne needs a change of background. Hey, look, we got 16 days left. I'm gonna push just as hard as you guys are. So don't worry, the harder you guys yell and scream, the faster I'll run. And to Dulce Stein, thank you for joining. And of course, I also want to mention that Dulce Stein is also, I think we might as well just kind of bring up the surprise now. To kind of go along with the community kitchen idea and the, there's community kitchen, there's the community, community kitchen, there's going to be a community art show. Oh, and there's also going to be what I've set up here in one of my offices here is an actual the City of Hawthorne community television show. Of course, we'll get a better name than that. But the whole idea is this, Dulce Stein and Danielle, they've actually kind of helped set up right now it's a radio station out for the public that the public can use. And it's kind of what's the best way to say it? Let me actually give background on Carlos first. So Carlos, who used to be what are they called? A radio host for Que Buena. You know, he had a big following pre-COVID, and then once COVID hit, unfortunately, you know, Que Buena took a little bit of a dive, but he still wanted to help the people and to still kind of bring the Spanish-speaking culture, you know, to all the residents, you know, in the South Bay. I'll stop there and I'll keep going. I think you're muted.
I muted myself. Hola. Contestamos el comentario de Francisco. Gracias por su comentario. Sí, Hawthorne necesita un cambio de fondo y eso es lo que estamos tratando de hacer. Entonces tiene hasta noviembre 3 para votar, para que todos nuestros sueños se hagan realidad. Dulce Stein, que está debajo del comentario de Francisco, queremos decirles de algo que estamos planeando con Dulce. Vamos a crear la cocina comunitaria, vamos a tener un show de arte y también Dulce está trabajando en crear un show de televisión comunitario donde diferentes residentes pueden tener una plataforma para hablar, para contar, para enseñar y television show and the radio
Correct.
show. Y también estamos trabajando en un show de radio. Tenemos un residente aquí que se llama Carlos, que es un ex locutor y él está creando esto. It's in Spanish, correct?
Yes.
Es en español. Va a ser para ese show de radio, va a ser para la comunidad de Hawthorne.
And it's 100% in Spanish. And what's also unique about Carlos's show is it's all centered around the Spanish culture and also mental health awareness, which is very unique. He has an amazing story, and this Tuesday, actually, we're going to, you know, go live for the first time on his show, especially kind of bringing that microphone to the public. So once a month, we're going to have something called Hawthorne Heroes, where we're going to showcase residents here in the city of Hawthorne who are actually making a huge impact in their community, especially within the Spanish, the Latino community, because the whole thing is just in Spanish. We really want to bring, you know, all these separate communities here in Hawthorne together. His story, and I'll give a little bit of a taste of it. I don't want to like ruin it for the Tuesday surprise, and luckily Sarai is also going to be interviewing there as well. His story started when he was, I want to say very young. I want to say maybe 8 or 9. He was living in Mexico with his dad at the time, and unfortunately, his dad had a hard time dealing with alcohol. So he actually helped from a young age. It's amazing. Helped guide his father into becoming sober, and I think for the past, I want to say 20 years, 16 to 20 years, he's been able to do it, keep his dad sober, and actually bring him from Mexico to here to actually get the resources and the right kind of help. So he spends a lot of time addressing, you know, how to come out of a very dark situation where you might think, everything is over, there's no way out, everything's lost. The amount of dedication he gave his dad, and especially the trials and tribulations, and the fact that, remember, this is a young man, at that time, young kid, young teen, being the dad for himself and his father, but it was out of love, and you rarely see that. And the fact that he's now taking that message to his radio show, to his community, especially now when mental health is such a big concern. I'll pause there.
Muted. Thank you. El show de radio de Carlos se va a centrar mucho en la cultura latina, las diferentes culturas, y también en la salud psíquica. Y vamos a tener cada mes, vamos a tener un segmento que se llama Héroes de Hawthorne, donde vamos a tener diferentes residentes de Hawthorne que están haciendo o han hecho un gran impacto para nuestra comunidad. Carlos tiene una gran historia para decirles un poquito. Él creció con su papá en México, que tenía problemas con el alcohol, y Carlos le hizo posible que su papá lo ayudó que dejara su adicción al alcohol, y lo pudo traer de México hacia acá para vivir con él. Y tomó tanta dedicación, era solo un chico joven, y pudo traer a su papá fuera de una situación tan mala. Entonces, para él, todo eso es tan importante y quiere crear esa plataforma para todos.
Yes, to kind of follow up on that as well. And the reason I bring that up is, so again, Tuesday is going to be. Sorry about that. And to the reason why I'm bringing this up is that this coming Tuesday, as we go live with it, and Sarai is going to be kind of giving me a second interview on the show, and also interviewing Carlos and his history and his whole story. Going to be a medium that the entire public themselves can actually have access to, that's completely in Spanish. And what's very unique too is it's I want to say it correctly. Oaxacan. So yes, he's Oaxacan. What's also very unique is that in the office here as well, there's a mural being painted of a Aztec calendar in that office space, which is amazing, which we're actually going to debut during that interview. It's amazing to actually see the whole community come out and actually get this community television, community radio up and live. And we're really going to see Hawthorne change. I know when I was out door knocking, when I started mentioning to some of the residents, I believe it was Evelyn. What was very amazing is that herself and her husband were actually DJs and break dancers. And when they heard about the idea, they actually taught classes, and they wanted to actually jump on and actually teach breakdancing lessons at the same time DJing lessons. And that's the whole thing behind it, is to give resources coming together and just giving that sense of community back in Hawthorne. We're missing that. We really are. A lot of other cities are having this kind of camaraderie. And I really feel that having this access and having this community kind of, what would I say? Public access is really going to start to bring us together and tear down that wall for all of us to come together. I do like that. So Tuesday, I think it's at 5:30. The interview, I believe it's at 5:30 on Tuesday. I'm going to be sending out an email for his radio channel. What's also cool, and it'll be a real quick snippet for you to translate, is November 1st, there is a Oaxacan parade, and they're actually bringing a Oaxacan, said it right that time? Oh, thank you. Singer out, and it's gonna be pretty cool. I get to be within the parade, and we're going to be driving down in LA, kind of, you know, bringing that cultural aspect to LA. It's a very amazing, and I'm very honored to kind of be a part of it. I just hope I don't, you know, they're teaching me right now how to dance. It's a very sight to see. You know, I try to be good on my feet, but it's going to be fun. I can't wait. So please, I'll also be sending out information about that and tickets for residents to come out. There's going to be food, there's a parade. It's a wonderful, almost like a party. I'll stop there.
On Tuesday, right? Yeah, so el martes de esta semana vamos a tener otra entrevista en el show de radio con Haidar y con Carlos, y es una oportunidad para que ustedes escuchen de qué se trata, aprender más sobre Haidar, aprender más sobre Carlos y aprender más sobre esta plataforma que estamos creando para nuestros residentes. Carlos es oaxaqueño, entonces él quiere mucho su cultura, y va a haber un desfile en, is the whole parade Oaxacan? Va a haber un desfile oaxaqueño aquí en Los Ángeles, y Haidar va a ser parte de ese desfile. Vamos a mandar información de cuándo va a ser, cómo pueden atender. Va a ser en noviembre. Y también vamos a mandar más información sobre este martes, donde pueden escuchar la entrevista de radio. Haidar lo están enseñando a bailar, si quieren verlo bailar. Va a bailar en este desfile.
I'm doing pretty good so far. Like I'm getting the hang of it.
Good, you understood me.
There's also, in the last part about that one too, and because I don't want to, that's all kind of tied together as well, is Day of the Dead. I believe it's November 1st. Yes, it is November 1st, and that is the same day as the whole Oaxacan parade. And because of that, and that's in the early afternoon, so it won't kind of conflict. Later on in the evening at the Falcon Inn, also the Big O Fish Taco Grill, we're actually going to be holding a Day of the Dead event at the restaurant. And what's also really amazing is we're having, I want to say, what's the right, cultural dancers to come out and actually do a ceremony for the Day of the Dead at the restaurant. And there's going to be food, you know, just a way to kind of bring the community together, and just regardless of our backgrounds, it shouldn't matter. And this is a unique way to kind of incorporate culture back into the city of Hawthorne. So that's also happening on November 1st. I know it's a lot. Look, it's two great events, amazing food and amazing people. And thank you, Carlos, for saying, Carlos, Dulce, and Danielle for helping set all of those together with me.
Yes, el desfile va a ser el primer día de noviembre para celebrar el Día de los Muertos, y también ese mismo día vamos a tener un evento en el Falcon Inn, que es el restaurante donde hacemos el programa de comidas, que está por la Rosecrans. Está la dirección aquí en el chat de Facebook. Y van a tener comida, van a tener bailantes para hacer una ceremonia especial para celebrar el Día de los Muertos. Es algo muy bonito para traer la cultura aquí, diferentes culturas aquí a Hawthorne de nuevo. Y sí, va a ser muy divertido, va a haber comida buena, va a haber ambiente bonito, y esperamos que puedan atender. You are.
Thank you for that. So I'm gonna put the ad again for the restaurant real quick, and then go through these comments. Where did I stop here? Oh, and the reason why I kind of got on the whole tangent was, and Dulce, thank you for reminding me about this. The community kitchen, the same way we're trying to help our unhoused residents here in the city of Hawthorne and trying to bring job growth here. We're also going to be hiring seniors and children graduating from foster care systems to actually run restaurant themselves, and getting the funds to actually have them get a source of income. We tend to forget that we're all struggling, but imagine there's a tremendous amount of children in these foster care system, that especially now with COVID, it's sad. It really is. When you spend some time with these kids and hear the story of pre-COVID, trying to get connected with the family was already difficult, and now post-COVID, it's even harder. And the last thing I want to see is to have that kind of light within children kind of get dimmed out and shut out, without them at least getting a fighting chance. So it's incorporating these two communities, senior and the foster care system, to really bring that care and love and that good energy that we should be representing as a city of good neighbors. So Dulce, thank you for reminding me about that. And again, Felix and his wife, and I'm not going to just say no. Let's see. Oh, she's going to please do not beat me up for, I don't want to mispronounce. And Sandra, Felix and Sandra, thank you guys so much for being the great assets to the city of Hawthorne and actually opening up your lives and your kitchen and restaurant to these great ideas. I'll pause there and then I'll go through the rest of the comments. Yes. And you're on mute. Yeah.
Yes. Regresamos a un comentario de Dulce que nos recordó decirles que para la cocina comunitaria vamos a tener trabajos para nuestra comunidad anciana y para jóvenes que se están saliendo del programa de foster care. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Y sí, va a ser una oportunidad para que ellos se sientan involucrados con nuestra ciudad y comunidad. Y les damos un gracias muy grande para Felix y Sandra, correct? Que son los dueños del Falcon Inn, que nos han dejado abrir esta cocina comunitaria en uno de sus restaurantes. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I want to make sure I knock out some of these, because now I see like some good questions popping up. Rolanda Querido, thank you for joining the call. I'm not mute. Okay, good. And you mentioned that there's problems with spaces, parking in Doty and Rosecrans. Is that near a lot of the apartment complexes? And if you're still there, let me go to the bottom, see if you can.
Rolando, estamos preguntando que si los espacios, los problemas de estacionamiento en la Doty y Rosecrans es cerca de los apartamentos, si todavía está aquí con nosotros.
And I also saw that you said you were a gardener too, and yes, parking is still continuing to problem here in the city of Hawthorne, and that's why we have to take a firm look, especially at our building policies. We kind of keep looking at the bigger picture, everything, but we forget to look at the minute details. And unfortunately, the smallest detail, which is parking, after a while, as we've seen over the years, it becomes this huge problem and mess that we all have to continue to deal with. That's why, luckily, and we put a pause idea from going forward. There was a idea brought up to City Hall of taking our available public spaces and unused parking spots to actually have them converted into charging stations, but for Uber and Lyft drivers. Yes, it's a unique and beautiful idea to kind of really bring this green initiative into any kind of city, but we can't move forward with an initiative without really taking a snapshot again of looking at what are the biggest problems to deal with. Now, it's not the whole like anti-green, it's more of a, if we have available space and unused parking spots, and the first thing we should be doing is looking at to our residents and saying, okay, how do we actually use that as available parking spots for them, rather than just off-selling it straight to another company. It's a very green initiative, but it's going to, in my opinion, bring more congestion and a limit even further the amount of parking spaces that we have when we're all desperately looking for parking spaces. Even I'm having a hard time trying to find a parking space in front of where I live on 117th Street. It's a lot of mechanic shops. So I could see how that can be very difficult. And look, if I have to, if I'm struggling, then like, yeah, so like that's something we can't overlook. And I just don't want to like offshoot and already sell off any available public space or land that we have. If our residents have been complaining about, hey, can we at least get a parking spot somewhere in the city that we can actually live next to our house? They should be taken care of first. Let them make that kind of decision of wanting to give any public space to, an outside company. If so, okay. But I really do think that either making a parking structure or having those spaces available to the residents at no cost should be step one. You're on mute. Not until we deal with the, yeah.
Para contestar la pregunta de Rolando, si todavía está con nosotros, sobre el estacionamiento. Toda la ciudad tiene problemas con estacionamiento, es algo que nosotros reconocemos. Haidar, igual yo, tenemos problemas con estacionamiento y hay lotes vacíos que podríamos usar para nuestros residentes. Había una proposición para la ciudad para darles o venderles esos lotes vacíos para manejadores de Uber, de Lyft, pero Haidar creemos que la prioridad de nosotros son los residentes. Entonces, ¿por qué no usar esos lotes vacíos para crear más estacionamiento para nuestros residentes? Porque somos la prioridad, y entonces él piensa que el problema local se tiene que resolver primero antes de ir a vender nuestro espacio a diferentes compañías.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's see here. So I hope that kind of addressed of where my mindset is, especially with parking. It's something that I have not overlooked, and it should not be overlooked. Again, we can utilize those public spaces to accommodate our residents, especially for those that are, within those very dense populated apartment complexes, and even for the single family homes that are surrounded by commercial sites. We have to do better as a city to accommodate you, the residents. Again, I'm your employee, so you guys come first. Anyone outside the city, second.
Si tenemos que hacer más esfuerzo para ayudar a nuestros residentes con problemas como esos, en vez de hacer otras compañías la prioridad. Y como ya he dicho, Haidar trabaja por ustedes y ustedes son la prioridad.
And I have a comment here from Sharir. I gave it a little twist there. Mentioning that Alethea Diaz, we need a representative who cares about the community. low
Yes.
income, who hears their community needs. Safety and cleanliness on their street is also a priority. Actually,
Nice.
and I'm glad you brought up cleanliness and safety. Yes, please. The second thing that, you know, besides parking and you know, bring some kind of red stabilization is cleanliness. You know, I've went out with some of the community members here. I posted about it. You know, of myself and them actually going out to some of these businesses behind, you know, the 99-cent store, the Dollar Tree, and especially on Rosecrans Avenue. Going out there, rolling up our sleeves. We're having, you know, trash, but we're going out there and actually brushing all of the dirt into what are those things called? A dustbin. So it's kind of fun. I know it's unique, but we are, you know, we're committed. We're committed.
Literally cleaning up.
Literally, even the dirt. Like we're trying to, even next to all the mechanic shops or the storefronts, like we're actually brushing and using a broom to like really get all the dirt out. We're you know, we're trying to, the next phase that we're hoping to kind of get pushing to, and you know, I'm getting my, you know, skills up a little better on it, is to actually start power washing some of the sidewalk areas. Look, if we're trying to attract, you know, more commercial spots, more restaurants, more community involvement, then we as a city have to show that we even care about our city. Right now, the amount of trash that's accumulating, the bulky items, and I want to thank the residents for actually taking use of my reporting page on my website. You know, what I'm happy to say is that every time there's a I want to say a ticket or a request made, within 24 to 40 hours, they're picked up and you know, cleaned up. And usually, if it's any longer than that,
And that's on your website, correct?
yeah. And that's also with the two other reporting forms for fireworks and any unhoused residents that could use additional help. We do have available resources. So on my website, there's 3 different links to report any of those kind of issues. And you know, if it's not dealt with within the first 48 hours, like for the clean and the bulky items, I actually go out there myself to pick up and clean the bulky items. And the reason I do that is to kind of put the heat back on the individuals that are supposed to be doing it. Because if I'm going out there to kind of not only do their job that they should be actually caring about their, you know, the residents, but it's also to kind of put the businesses on the hot seat. That we as, you know, electeds, as residents, should not have to beg, scream, and kick and holler just so that the trash within our neighborhoods do not continue to, it's just not fair. It really isn't. Want to do business here in Hawthorne, I love it. I encourage it. But look, if you're going to come in here, respect it, please. And this might sound a little harsh, but we are going to start moving in with some kind of implementation of a cleaning fee. It really isn't fair for these residents to have to live behind some of these very dirty areas. It really isn't fair. So, you know, knock on wood, if November 3rd, because that's going to be, you know, after that's going to be our next council meeting, that's going to be the very first things I start pushing is, look, that's it. Like, no more of this pay to play or friends here and there. It's business. You want to come here and do work, then do work for the people. You want to build a project, then build it for the people. Don't expect a free ride from Hawthorne anymore. That's it. It's over. And that goes especially for the Hawthorne Mall, which I will discuss in a few moments.
Ok. Sobre la limpieza de la ciudad, es algo que es muy importante para nosotros. Haidar ha organizado limpiezas con residentes de la comunidad donde ellos y él salen a las calles y recogen la basura literalmente con una escoba. Están quitando la tierra de nuestros negocios, de detrás de los negocios. Y es algo muy importante. cleaning up. Con tener limpio nuestra ciudad, podemos atraer más negocios, podemos atraer más gente y hacer a nuestra ciudad y se ve nuestra ciudad más elegante, más bonita. Trash cleanup, and then you mentioned sí, entonces también para los negocios que ya están con nosotros y los negocios que quieren entrar a la ciudad de Hawthorne, vamos a empezar a implementar una tarifa de limpieza porque no es, si quieren hacer negocio aquí en nuestra ciudad, deben de pensar en nuestros residentes, deben de pensar en nosotros y deben de mantener limpio para que nuestra ciudad crezca y se vea bonita.
So yes, so thank you, Sharia, for bringing up the cleanliness issue. I will touch on the Hawthorne Mall real quick, just when I kind of catch up to these comments. Dr. Ali Awad, thank you for saying that. 16 days, hopefully I can, make those wishes of yours come true. We'll say sign, thank you for giving the address. I also put a link into the chat box for everyone to, get actual directions to the place. Let's see.
Hawthorne.
Roberto says Hawthorne is a very beautiful city, but we need more street cleaning. Many homeless people, and yeah, it's very unfortunate that it's going to continue to rise, and that's the issue. If we don't, usually what tends to be the approach to the unhoused community here in Hawthorne is to, well, and a lot of the cities surrounding us, is to kind of, out of sight, out of mind. But that doesn't fix the issue. If you continue to, push them away, or if you continue not to help them, then it just continues to exacerbate the problem. It's going to increase the amount we have. And if there's no shelter in the area, if there's no, if we're not looking at how to bring resources to them, then what are we expecting to happen? Like, it's not going to help. It's going to increase. And look, the last fear that I have, 'cause I've seen this already, I've really seen this, especially during the meal program, is that residents that I would speak to within their home, at their porch, last October, are on the streets or living in their car now. And it becomes surreal. Like you see it, like yes, it's one thing to hear about it, but when you actually witness someone that you've spoken to day, week after week, now struggling to even keep the car that they're living in with their family, with their pets, we're losing that side of humanity. I mean, and that empathy. It's sad. We look, these unhoused residents are already low. They're already feeling like there's nothing else left for them. The last thing we should do is kick them while they're down. And, we should be lending a helping hand. And this is why the whole community kitchen, the community television, just bringing all these available resources to the community to build the community together.
Sobre nuestra comunidad sin casa, lo que está haciendo la ciudad ahorita es van a donde están ellos viviendo y lo único que hacen es sacarlos, pero eso no resuelve el problema. Lo que resuelve el problema es abrir recursos para que ellos puedan salir de ese lugar de donde están. Con limpiar una vez no se quita el problema. Y Haidar ha hablado con residentes de nuestra comunidad que hace un año estaban en sus casas y ahora por una razón o por otra han perdido su hogar o tienen que vivir de su carro. Y es algo tan, it's shocking ver la lucha que esta gente está peleando. Entonces es importante para él resolver el problema, no solo quitar el problema por unos días.
So I hope that kind of addressed your the comment you made, Roberto. Dulce, thank you for mentioning that the phone number for RSVPing for meals, and that we have 30 meals a day and we're still going strong. So please, I think, and every day is kind of a unique item, not a unique menu option. There's certain days there's steak and chicken quesadillas, and then there's chimichangas, ceviche. Every day is I'm telling you, Felix and Sandra are really putting their heart and soul into this. They're not trying to like skimp out on anything, or especially on any of the ingredients. It's some of the freshest, and you do have to take a nap after you eat. I have to say, like, honestly, it's that good. So please check out the menu online, and then again, 30 meals free each day. And if you know a resident, maybe not yourself, but if you know someone that could use the meal, we do have some residents that I go with that we actually go out and deliver 5 to 10 meals from each day to the unhoused population here in the city of Hawthorne. And look, it's a community kitchen. They are part of our community, so they deserve just as much to eat as we do. Let's see. Martha, I hope we took care of that can't hearing problem. Did you see that? Okay. You were on mute for a second. I'll do this right now. Thank you for Dulce, thank you for saying that. And Nolan, thank you guys for being that support system I need to even continue helping the community. Again, it's a village. It takes a village to actually address this and actually create these programs. So without you guys, I'm really nobody. So again, thank you guys for helping. Stacy, Elliott, thank you for always jumping on and support. Martha Valenzuela, I did. Let me. Let's see. Martha, you ask, what is your plan for the mall and Kennedy Hospital that have been closed for years when he is better? I don't know if I'm saying. See how like you can think you can translate one way, but it sometimes doesn't work that way. Give me 1 second.
Marta sí preguntó sobre el centro comercial que está vacío y que ha estado vacío por mucho tiempo, y el hospital, sí, por años han estado cerrados, y preguntó por el plan de Haidar Awad Mayor. Thank you. Yes. Un momento. Yes.
Right there. Okay.
Nuestro mall plan.
Yes. So again, Martha, thank you for bringing that topic and issue up. So for RFK and the hospital, can you imagine? We're still discussing this. Like, it's kind of sad. Honestly, I'm gonna admit that it is sad that we are still talking about, large parcels not being built. But I do have some updates, especially on the RFK site, which I'm happy to see there's actual progress. So knock on wood. But the mall is a different story. So let me touch on the mall first. So as many of you know, I've initiated when I first campaigned, I said I'm going to have the blight fee initiated here in the city of Hawthorne, just like they had at the city of Berkeley. And what that was is in city of Berkeley, is that they actually, to kind of rebuild the commercial and residential sites around the campus, they actually started charging 25 cents per square foot of blighted area. Of course, they worked with the landowners first. They gave them a time frame. They sat down with them. But after, say, 60 days, if there is no movement at all, and it's because they're choosing not to move forward, is when they start implementing the blight fee. And then it starts to increase rapidly. So I took that concept, and I'm happy to say last November, no, the last meeting in October, it became an official ordinance, and we were able to start implementing the blight. Now, this is what I started to find out, and why our internal system is still, and this is a little insider information, which is sad, this is inside information, is that as I was pushing up against the mall owner with this blight fee, of course, he's not very happy that he's being charged. I think now it started at $1,000 a day. And I think now we're up to $4,000 a day, which is quite a lot of money. You know, he's been paying the fees because he's kind of forced to, as we put the charges as a lien up on his property. Now, this is where things kind of went, unfortunately, sideways, and why I got a little heated of what was occurring. So as we were moving with the blight fee, charging him these fines, I come to realize that he was allowed to operate a legal parking business in the parking structure of the Hawthorne Mall, which shouldn't be open, period. Like, it doesn't make sense. And this is the part that pisses me off the most. And sorry, I'm speaking so passionately. It's because he's able, like, these are massive contracts, so he's able to take those funds and then pay the fines with it. So that it kind of defeats the purpose of even having the blight fee. The other worst thing, and for some odd reason is not mentioned because, you know, certain people are friends, is that because it's not a legal business and there's no business license, the city does not get any taxes from that business. So not only is he getting paid to operate an illegal business to pay off the fines, he's actually making more money leaving it closed. Now, how does that make sense? Like, it doesn't. And look, you might say, oh no, oh, it's lying. Like, look, go there any day of the week, starting tomorrow, by all means, go. Right next to, what's that supermarket next to the Hawthorne Mall? Not Superior. Is it Superior? Yeah, next to Superior, you'll see an on-ramp that goes to the parking structure with Amazon trucks and Tesla cars and other vehicles. It's not supposed to be open, period. And it's operating daily, making money on the back of the residents. How is that fair? And I'm the only one that seems to be screaming about it. Why? Well, as I posted the 460s up, we've seen where Armin, the mall owner, has given money. That is why it continues to stay dormant. The other part of my blight fee has this incorporated in it. Actually, I'm gonna wait there and then let you translate them. I was going off a little bit. Passion right there.
Mucha pasión por el problema del centro comercial, que le estamos dando un poco de información que de por dentro. Haidar trabajó para hacer una tarifa para los dueños de lotes o de negocios que no estaban trabajando, o no estaban operando, no estaban abiertos, o nomás tenían ahí la locación vacía, que les cargaba 25 centavos por 25 cents per square foot por pie cuadrado. Entonces, eso empezó a pasar con su centro comercial, y el dueño ha estado pagando esa tarifa. He said he's more than $1,000 a day, correct? casi $4,000 al día para mantener, para seguir siendo dueño de esta locación, pero sin abrir nada. Am, es mucho dinero, pero sí lo estaba pagando. Entonces nos dimos cuenta que él está operando un negocio de estacionamiento ilegalmente, donde él está haciendo dinero de ese negocio y con ese dinero está pagando la tarifa. Entonces, no, entonces no lo está afectando. Por eso, por tanto tiempo, ha seguido así. Y la razón por cual él ha podido hacer esto por tanto tiempo es porque podemos ver dónde él está poniendo su dinero también, a quién le está dando dinero. Y por esa razón, ha podido seguir haciendo eso.
So to pick up where you left off, where I left off, the other part of my ordinance, and I spent so much time writing this, and it was actually one of my top 3 accomplishments here in the city of Hawthorne. Not only did I structure it where we would take those fines and fees and put it as a lien up on his properties, so that he really couldn't get out of not paying it, even though he's trying to sue us now and saying it's unnecessary. We are actually, and I've allowed our city attorney the ability to do this, and our city attorney's office. We are able to move forward with litigation up against the mall owner. The fact that we have not speaks volumes, and it's because the majority and the leadership choose not to, because they're friends. I would say something very different, but that different wording, but that's very unethical, and it really just ticks me off. The fact that you continue, it's been like 20 years. It's one spot, and we're next to the NFL stadium. Like, you cannot rebuild the city of Hawthorne when you have 28 acres empty, because every time we go out, especially myself, trying to pitch for a new restaurant, a new commercial, whatever it is, they just come back to me. And even the hotel owners are pissed off now, because they came in thinking that there's movement. They always come back saying, why should we even think about Hawthorne when the guy that owns one of maybe the prime spots in the South Bay, that close to the stadium, keeps it empty? For what reason? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, even from a business standpoint, who in their right mind would invest millions to come into a city that has that much land empty, full of trash, no one cares? And the fact that there is, and I urge every resident to go look, and to even call City Hall, call them out on it, ask them the question, why is it that they are allowed to operate a business that we do not receive taxes from, while we as residents still have nowhere to shop, dine, or even enjoy the city nightlife? Why? And why is it that I'm the only one bringing it up? That's kind of sad. And that's the reason for the disconnect from the community. The more aware a community is about their city hall, the more the electeds are held accountable. They have to now answer the questions they were trying to hide the entire time. So is the reason for this, is it by accident that it's very hard to get a hold of City Hall, or to get a hold of an elected? It's not. It really isn't. And it's done on purpose, so that there is no one to answer to. And the fact that there's more than this case occurring. This is just one of many. This is the game being played. So I'm not saying don't take my word for it. Go out there tomorrow. Look at it. If there's more than 5 Amazon trucks going up that ramp, or more than 2 Teslas, ask yourself why. Why are there hundreds of cars there and it's shut down? Call City Hall. Ask them, how much money are we actually getting in tax revenue to actually help the residents? How much are we getting as a city? I guarantee you it's nothing. Nothing. And that's what they're hiding. I've sent a video out about it. It just makes me so angry. And the reason for the way I've been running the campaign, if something is to bring awareness to this, if you put so much energy to hide the smallest thing, imagine the deeper things that are being hidden, things that actually matter. Imagine what they're hiding. If something as small as party affiliation or where you stand on certain policies, you spend night and day fighting. Sad.
May I? Yes. Haidar ha aclarado que sí tenemos habilidad para movernos legalmente con el dueño de este lote vacío. Pero la razón por cual no lo hemos hecho como ciudad es porque los líderes no lo han hecho. Y te preguntas por qué no lo han hecho. Porque el dinero está involucrado. Y no es justo, y tampoco con este negocio ilegal que están corriendo, que tienen abierto de estacionamiento ahí, no pagan taxes, entonces no nos beneficia a los residentes, no nos beneficia como ciudad. Entonces, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué están dejando que esto pase sin moverse legalmente? No es justo que negocios grandes o quieran entrar a Hawthorne y vean, ¿por qué yo voy a entrar a Hawthorne si a Hawthorne no les importa cómo se ve, no les importa tener este espacio tan grande que llenar y no llenarlo? ¿Por qué yo voy a entrar a Hawthorne si la ciudad está sucia? Entonces, Haidar seriamente está peleando para que podamos abrir un restaurante, un lugar para ir de compras, para ir a caminar. Eso es lo que necesitamos aquí en Hawthorne. Estamos tan cerca del estadio, tenemos tanta oportunidad para atraer negocio y no lo están haciendo.
Oh, ask them about the city.
Y los urge que vayan y llamen a la ciudad, pregúntenles por qué tenemos este lote vacío. Entre más gente les llame y los empuje, más tienen que tomar responsabilidad.
Yeah, I'm just getting angry again. Well, actually, I'm not on mute. It boils me up again just to keep thinking about it. That how much longer do you need to actually get something like that moving? We have a policy in our books now. Right now, we could have started the beginning of this year. Now, for some odd reason, they decided to drag their feet. That's the first thing to address with that mall, is to take our city attorney's office and let them loose. And there's, I want to kind of extend the idea. You might have heard the idea of, we will move forward with eminent domain. Okay. This is the part that they kind of don't understand, or it's political jargon that sounds really good during election time. To explain the process of eminent domain, if we were to move forward in that way without, actually going the litigation route, we as a city would have to front market rate for that parcel. Right now, market rate, I would say about 110, 120 million. We're asking you guys now as residents for a UUT tax measure to help the city stabilize itself. But in the meantime, we're looking at what? Issuing a bond for 120 million to do what? To put more debt on our books, asking you guys for more taxes? It doesn't make sense. It is not an actual route to take. You would have to pay market rate, 120, 110 million. I'll be even more conservative, 100 million. That's on the low end. Where are you going to get 100 million from? Yes, there's P3s, but why put that extra debt on our books? Then we have to actually put on you, the residents. Doesn't sound fair, does it? And when you look at the ballot measures this year, you'll see that an increase in taxes. We just had one. And I'm the only one being real about it. Why? Why be afraid? Why not be real? Be upfront. Is there other ways of us getting revenue? Yeah, if we stop taking money from the other side, we'll actually get movement. But that's what actually gets me tired of looking at how our cities ran, because you have individuals that are master manipulators, profiting from, oh, it's a shame. It really is. And matter of fact, I'm gonna put up a 460, and 460 is where, so if you're an elected and you take a donation, if it's anything above $100, we have to report it, when it was given, by who, and what they own. $99 and below, it's not reported. I'm gonna start putting up the 460s in this chat. And again, it's because I do not like the fact that there are people just, what's that, just apparently lying, like this cold face, just like do not care. Like I've never seen this in my life from everyone else that's running. The bold face lies. But the scary thing is, and I kind of taught my being a nerd, is I know where to look. Luckily, and in finance and forensic accounting, we learned to dig. We learned to find where the smoke and mirrors are. Well, luckily for me, I'm the only one in there that actually knows how this works. So am I able to find and kind of unveil? Oh, well, no, he's just lying. No, I'm not. You're afraid for the first time someone can actually read what you're putting out there for what it is. So as Sarai translates that, I'm going to upload. And again, residents, I am not asking you to believe off the bat what I'm saying. I've always been a transparent individual. I want to give you the resources and material. You look at it for yourself, make your own decision. But the reason why I'm not afraid is because it's real. Ask everyone else when they say something, where's the proof? That's it. I get what you're saying, but let me see it. They won't.
Sí, entonces les estábamos diciendo que la ciudad tiene la oportunidad de salir y trabajar legalmente, trabajar por agarrar ese lote del centro comercial. Pero ellos siguen diciendo que se van a trabajar con dominio eminente, que significa que la ciudad va a agarrar este lote para uso público, pero por pagarles a ellos. ¿Y por qué vamos a hacer eso? Va a costar $100 millones más. ¿Y de dónde vamos a sacar ese dinero? Vamos a sacar ese dinero por taxes de los residentes. Eso no es justo cuando esta persona debería, por representar a nuestra ciudad, hacer algo, y no lo hace. Y queremos que sepan que toda la información que mandamos de aquí, de Haidar, es verdad. Él, cada vez que alguien político en una elección agarra una donación que es más de $100, tienen que reportar de dónde viene y qué hace esa persona o de qué negocio. Y ahorita Haidar está subiendo el documento donde pueden ver ustedes las pruebas. Todo lo que mandamos nosotros lo decimos sin miedo porque les podemos enseñar las pruebas. Si la otra gente lo dice que no es verdad, les pedimos que les pregunten por las pruebas. No las van a tener. Por eso es que con tanta pasión podemos decir lo que lo que les mandamos.
I'm just putting a final few edits on those 460s. I want to put a label on, you know, each donor, just so you guys can actually see what is being sent to you, what lies are still being fed and hidden. Just like the other posts I've been putting up lately, it's very hard to, you have to start walking back and now explaining, well, wait a minute, no, well, no, that was a different time, and no, that was like, no. Just like the Univision interview I posted, was some of our individuals back in 2016. That shows your character as a leader. Like, man, like how much more can you just like lie and continue to like not care? And the other individuals on that council, how do you allow this to continue without saying something? Like, I can't be the only one voicing my opinion. If I wasn't there, you wouldn't hear anything. Imagine that. Like right now, what I'm saying, you would never hear anything. So that's the plan for them all, is to set our attorneys after them. We have it in our books. We can do it. We can actually go after them. We should not be afraid, and we'll win that fight, because I guarantee you'll have the entire city coming out just for that fight. And it's not anti-business, because that's actually going to increase the amount of business here in Hawthorne. The small to mid-sized businesses will double because there's actual movement and growth. So anyone who tells you it's anti-business, at least it's something. There's business now. Ask any business owner, if that mall were to be open, would it be better or worse for them?
Yes. Entonces el plan para el centro comercial es movernos adelante con nuestros abogados para ganar este espacio legalmente, porque no es justo que esté vacío, no es justo que no haga nada, no es justo que estén sacando dinero ellos y dejar a nuestra ciudad debajo, dejar a nuestros residentes debajo. Entonces, ese es el plan, movernos como podemos, y sí podemos, porque estamos seguros que cuando esa pelea empiece, todos juntos vamos a querer lo mismo, y todos juntos se pueden hacer las cosas realidad.
Mommy, I might know. Okay, good. And for now, for the RFK site, look, it's the same thing. Every land, every large parcel that has not seen movement is going to be addressed with this blight fee. Now, some landowners are willing to work, because we actually sit down with them beforehand, trying to find a way to get movement. We're not trying to come out with a hammer against the residents or any kind of commercial owner. No. First step is to sit down with City Hall and find out exactly what's holding you back as a landowner. If it's a policy that we have in our books, we'll help change it. If there's extra funding that you need or grant money, we'll help address it. But if it's just you choosing, I don't care, I'll leave it for my kids, or I have enough money. No, that doesn't work. Sell it. Or I'll just have the attorneys go after you, because that's why we have them. Now for the RFK site.
Can I jump on that real
Yes.
quick? Siempre el primer paso con nuestros dueños de estos lotes que no están haciendo nada o que los tienen vacíos es hablar con ellos. ¿Cómo los podemos ayudar? Oh my gosh, I went unmuted on Facebook. I can hear myself. ¿Cómo los podemos ayudar a que abran sus negocios? ¿Qué podemos hacer de parte de la ciudad para apoyarlos? Y cuando eso no trabaja, después es cuando se debe y nos vemos a otras prácticas. Es lo mismo con el lote del hospital, que también está vacío. Vamos a seguir con La tarifa y ahí paramos. Go ahead with the hospital.
So with the hospital, yes, it's been like dormant for many years. But look, as we sat down with the owner, unlike the Hawthorne Mall, he was willing to make movement. He was willing to come up with a way to act. He wants to get things moving. He actually has a very good business-oriented mind, saying, well, you know what, it actually hurts me to leave it dormant, because he's not operating an illegal business like, say, some of the other owners are. So he's feeling the heat. And so this is what I have to commend the RFK owner on, and what a lot of residents don't know yet, but we are going to come out public with it. And I think it might be actually out now. He actually, the hospital side, not only did he renovate the inside and, limited renovation to kind of, bring it up so it's presentable for the market. His new idea, just to have, especially because of COVID, he wants to, and it's on the market. He carved out the actual hospital site itself and is having that put up for sale for a medical facility. Now, not a hospital. It's very hard to have a full-fledged hospital come. If they do, beautiful, we'll help it out. But at least we'll have some kind of medical facility. Now, the idea that I threw out to him was Kaiser Permanente was supposed to move and was trying to open in Hometown Buffet on Hawthorne Boulevard. When that deal did not work out, I quickly went to the RFK owner and showed him that, look, there's potential now. You actually have some of these big companies looking to open a medical facility. This is the best opportunity. Go for it. And he had two options, really. He could have been like some other landowners and saying, no, it's not what I want. I want to, either more housing, where it can make me the biggest bang for my buck. He actually put it on the market, hoping to grab Kaiser. Now, if anyone out there knows anyone in Kaiser, please tell them that the site is open. Buy it, lease it, give us our medical facility. Now there's no excuse that you can't. It does not impact the parking congestion because it's zoned for that already. It used to be a full-on hospital. We're asking for a medical center. The second thing is that the parcels that are left on the site, because now that, say, Kaiser were to move in, that would actually be assisted living, hospital housing or doctor housing or medical staff housing, to be living on site, to really be that medical center that we actually want and need. Like at some of these children's hospitals, like say, actually my brother, for example, his sternum was kind of caved in. So when they go through surgery, they actually have to stay the Ronald McDonald's hospital in San Diego. They actually have like these hotel residential kind of units on site for recovery, but it really feels like you're in a condo. And and the idea behind it was to have the kids feel at peace and at home while they're going through so much just trauma. That is what we could have here. And that is what he's actually moving forward with. So please, if you have connects to Kaiser and somebody, give me their phone. I'll do the call. I'll lock that deal in, because there's no excuse now. So those are my plans for the mall and RFK, to help facilitate that on the RFK side, bring a medical center, have Kaiser stay in the city of Hawthorne, and then for any other large behemoth of unused property, hey, look, it's time. The gloves are off. It's time to go. And I honestly, that city attorney's office, trust me, it's going to get amped. We're going to have prosecutors in there. We're going to have to hire a team to get the city what it deserves. Actual life.
Sí, Oh, before I go into that, if you scroll down, Pamela is actually saying she works for a health group. She wants to pitch the idea.
Wait, what? Please, by all means, yes.
Entonces, el plan para el hospital, que también está vacío, ya hemos hablado con el dueño de ese lote y él también siente que tiene que hacer algo. Y especialmente con esta pandemia, todo lo que está pasando, él ha sacado lo de dentro del hospital y quiere, está de venta ya, venderlo para hacerlo un lugar médico, no un hospital completo, porque eso es más trabajoso para abrir y si alguien lo quiere abrir, lo ayudamos, pero queremos empezar con nomás un sitio médico. Ahí ya está de venta, ya estamos trabajando en eso y él ha cooperado con nosotros porque él no está haciendo ganancias sobre tener este local vacío. Entonces, como les dijimos, el primer paso es hablar con los dueños y hacerlo en paz. Pero cuando eso no pasa, debemos, para mejorar nuestra ciudad, mover de cualquier manera, legalmente, para obtener esos sitios. Entonces, si usted conoce a alguien, queremos mantener a Kaiser en nuestra ciudad o otro sitio, otra compañía médica. Y les pueda decir, díganles, en eso estamos trabajando, especialmente en estos tiempos. Pero sí, el plan para los otros locales vacíos, se va a implementar esa tarifa más fuerte. Y igual al centro comercial, cuando no se haga caso, cuando no se haga nada, tenemos que pelear por parte de nuestra ciudad.
And you said who was that made the comment about the
Pamela Davis.
Miss Davis? I'm going to get to your comment because now I'm excited because see, when you're real and honest, you can actually get movement. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Hold on. Let me make sure I touch. So those are my ideas for those two sites. Let me go through these comments to get to Martha. I'm not going to leave until, let's see, where did I leave off? Pamela Davis, you mentioned that as a kid, I remember the annual Hawthorne Christmas Parade, Kiwanis Fair, and activities in the community where everyone was united. Hawthorne has become segregated and out of touch. We need to go back to basics and bring unity back. We need them all open and running again. And honestly, so you're 100% correct. And the fact that, you know, I have to apologize. The fact that you guys had to suffer through all this, even up till now, uncalled for. No justification for it. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, you know, it was because of this or because of that. Lack of leadership, lack of a backbone. That's all I can say.
Muted para contestar a los que nos están diciendo que el Hawthorne necesita ese sentimiento de ser una comunidad unida. Sí, eso es muy importante para nosotros y es muy triste que nos hemos quedado así por tanto tiempo y cuando pasa eso, cuando no se siente la comunidad conectada o unida, es porque los líderes no están dejando pasar eso, no están haciendo nada para unirnos. Y eso es lo que estamos tratando de cambiar.
Thank you for that. Let's see. Again, I'm not, 4-6 are going to be going up. Just had two more I want to label to really give you guys a full perspective on what I'm talking about. Pablo, thank you for joining and thank you. I love the support. I appreciate it. Again, I can't do it without you guys. So like you said, Francisco, Haidar, vamos, together we can do it. Look, I'm gonna go.
Gracias por su apoyo, Pablo y Francisco.
Stacy, yes, the parade that Pamela mentioned would be phenomenal to have. Like, you know, the fact that I'm having, you know, I'm going to one Oaxacan. Ooh, I'm getting better at it.
Getting better.
I'm going to one that's outside of our city. You know, I'm trying to do one for the, you know, the Day of the Dead. We should have a parade. We should be together. Like, again, there's no excuse. And it's just tired. How much longer can we still, what's the definition of insanity? Continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Ooh, man, it's been like a long time. I wouldn't be able. No.
Algo que hemos estado peleando es hacer lo mismo por tanto tiempo sin resultado y seguir haciendo lo mismo. No es justo que tengamos que seguir con eso.
Let's see. Yolanda Vasquez, I'm glad you're excited for the event. I can't wait either. It's going to be, I think, the city of Hawthorne's first real Day of the Dead event, if that's the one you're talking about.
The event and the parade, I think we were talking about.
All of it, just all of it. I just want all that we deserve. Sarai E, thank you for posting the Day of the Dead event. Let's see here. Muhammad Abdullah, thank you for joining. And yes, I saw that you called, and I'm going to be calling you right after this meeting. I just want to make sure I got prepped for this and to really, you know, have this go off without a hitch. Sharir, Alith, the idea is we need to lift our spirits in the community and bring it closer together. And for that, you need support if you win, because if you do events like Christmas, that we all get involved so we can be identified and not excluded. And also, the other problem is rent. Try to help the community and don't allow so many absurd increases that not everyone has to pay. Now, again, thank you for, that's another beautiful topic that was brought up. Another sad thing of it all too, and you know, a lot of people try to paint me as, oh, the you know, the guy that's for this development, this and that. From day one, I've been fighting for, and it's from a business perspective. You have to look at your city as stockholders, right? You guys are paying taxes or investing in the board, council, and the city manager, CEO, to get you guys a return on your investment. You're investing not only your time, your money, your family, and your future in our hands. We have to get you guys a return. Now, we can't do that if you guys are not able to live in our city. It doesn't make sense when the median income is between $40,000 to $50,000 to $60,000 and rent is clocking in close to $3,000, more than that. But how are you going to take a family or one that's starting to start off in this environment, mind you, and to pay, we're not even on the beach. I mean, yes, knock on wood, like, okay, that's good. Prices are increasing. That means value is going up. But at what cost? Then there's no one going to be, like, no one's going to live in the city then. Because if we're having these vacancies now, that means the market is off from where the residents are now. It doesn't make sense to keep having this escalation in price, thinking that, oh no, it's going to be better. It's not, because now you're just going to have a huge stock of empty homes and then wait a couple of years and it's going to take a dive again. The residents are going to feel as if you don't care and are trying to kick them out and gentrify them. It's not, it doesn't make sense. It went from being the city of good neighbors to being the city of capitalists. Like it's weird how we lie and placate saying, you know, political jargon, no, I'm for affordable housing and this and that. Explain yourself. How? The policies being implemented does not make sense. If increasing the housing stock or increasing affordable housing will help with the increase in rent. We have 75% of Hawthorne residents who rent, but yet for some odd reason, we're fixated on the 10. 75. I guess 3/4 of the population, 3/4 of Hawthorne residents, like they're just like, no, we don't care. That's what's happening at City Hall. That's why these City Hall meetings aren't really advertised. So you can't see like the back and forth we're having, how I'm yelling at the council to think better, to do better. Our last council meeting, they limited public comment from 5:30 to 4:30 by 1 whole hour without informing the public. Why? Because at the last council meeting, they did not like the way how there was so much public comment, and the council and city were getting bashed for not answering or addressing issues. Yeah, we are supposed to get bashed if we're not moving on things. How do you limit public comment by 1 whole hour? How can you even sleep at night saying, you know what? To make it easier on myself, I'm just gonna take an hour away from residents being able to send in anything, but without telling them that we're gonna reduce it. It has not been changed for years. I mean, it's been a normal for 4 or 5 past mayors. It's been the same time frame. All of a sudden now, the last meeting, oh no, we're gonna switch it off. The council didn't even vote on that. And then the remark was from the mayor pro temp was, well, oh, I had nothing to do with that, what the city clerk and city attorney did. Wasn't that the same issue that got us into bankruptcy 5 years ago when no one was paying attention to what the city manager was doing to our agenda? Residents, please ask yourself that question. Does that make sense to come out from a leader, from the other council members? I was not part of that decision. Then who's looking at the agenda? This is what they're hiding. And again, I'm not saying take my word for it, but what's nice is this was the last meeting in October. Please watch it and watch at the very end where I go off on the council, the city clerk, everybody for going that low because it's COVID and Zoom. They think they can get away with it. No, I'm sorry. But the last thing I'm gonna do before, hopefully it doesn't end for me November 3rd. But if it does, at least I'm gonna get the truth out, and then you, the residents, take the fight on. And if you guys wanna continue fighting, I'll be there on the front lines too, because there's no way I can even allow myself to continue to operate my businesses, my family. Like it doesn't make sense because you just look at City Hall and you're sad. You're just like, really? Yeah.
No es justo y no tiene sentido que nuestras rentas estén tan altas cuando cuando el 75% de nuestros residentes rentan. No hay por qué nuestras rentas suban y suban y suban y estén tan altas. Es algo que Haidar ha traído a las juntas de la ciudad y que no le hacen caso. Ustedes pueden ver las juntas que no las anuncian tanto porque no quieren que el público esté ahí para presionarlos, para empujarlos a que contesten de preguntas de verdad o a que tomen responsabilidad por lo que están o no están haciendo. La última junta de la ciudad, siempre tienes la habilidad como el público para mandar preguntas y la última junta cambiaron el horario y lo hicieron más corto para que la gente pudiera mandar sus preguntas sin decirle a nadie. Y eso no ha cambiado, ese horario no ha cambiado por años. Entonces, y no le dijeron a nadie. Y Hera le preguntó al mayor, le dijo, ¿por qué cambiaron ese horario? ¿Por qué hicieron eso sin decirle a nadie especialmente? Y él contestó que él no tenía nada que hacer con eso, que él no sabía que lo iban a hacer. Entonces, si usted no sabe, ¿quién va a saber? Si usted no está encargado, está atentivo a la agenda, ¿quién lo es? Si usted no es el que está sobreviviendo todo, ¿quién lo está haciendo? Entonces, y fue la última junta antes de la elección en noviembre. Y ojalá esta pelea no se acabe en noviembre 3 para Haidar. Y si no se acaba, es una pelea que vamos a seguir peleando con la ciudad. Porque no es justo y no tiene sentido que nuestras rentas sigan subiendo.
I spoke on show.
Yes. Cuando eso, well, let me jump in. Cuando eso pasa, también nuestros residentes sienten que los estamos sacando, sienten que ya no los queremos aquí y eso no es justo para nosotros.
Was a tangent I went on. Where did I leave off?
It's just
Yes. That's what I'm like. You get so passionate. The public comment. Do you know what the other sad thing is you can't ask prior to the election. You know why? Because at that last same meeting, as I said no, and the only one that said no, they decided to cancel all the rest of the meetings until after the election. But we're in the middle of COVID, right? Like, this is the time where you're supposed to be working. But no, we decide to cancel all meetings. Why? Even I don't know, because I didn't get the logic in the first place. So when you're in the pandemic, isn't this the time you actually have to clock in? I just have to apologize. You should be doing better.
Decidieron cancelar todas las juntas que quedaban hasta después de la elección. Y eso no es justo, especialmente cuando estamos en medio de una pandemia donde necesitamos información, necesitamos dejar al público que haga preguntas, que sean informados. ¿Por qué hicieron eso?
Let me follow up on some of these comments. Let's see. Martha, Venezuela, commercial building owners in Hawthorne. It's a shame that they can't pay to keep the places clean. Is she saying that they're choosing not to pay, or? Oh, you're absolutely correct. It's shameful because clearly you're making money if you're open. And we're not talking about, if you're struggling, or you're a small business owner, we can help. The city hall, the council, we can help address that. But if you're a multi-million-dollar company or a corporation, you can't, siphon off $30 a day to help, the city clean itself. And we're just talking about your own sidewalks, your own parking lots. So yes, it's shameful. Lucille Williams.
Let me jump on that for Marta. Sí, es una vergüenza que los negocios no puedan mantener limpio y eso es lo que vamos a tratar de arreglar, que no debe de ser así. Están haciendo dinero, pueden invertir dinero para que se vea bien.
Ms. Lucille Williams mentions, again, thank you. Always love you for being a fan and always helping me and giving me insight here and there. Power washing the sidewalks is a great idea. And when the pandemic easing up, Hawthorne needs its farmers market back as well. Yes, we do. And what's actually unique, and actually I'm gonna have Sarai kind of discuss that. We actually kind of spoke on the idea of bringing back the farmers market. And she brought to mind.
Just the other day we were speaking about this.
Right, and there was one, I think it was at Sherman Oaks, that had a few stalls, and it was,
yeah,
it's So
And so it takes,
you can
it brings
take that.
back having a farmer's market in our community brings that sense of community, you know, it gives us something to do. It's something, you know, every Friday, for example. We get to have this event, this thing as a community to go to, you know, you go regular other farmers markets in Los Angeles, and you know, you go, you see the same people, you have your regular places you go to, you know, and it really does bring back a sense of community, and that's something that we're really looking at. We just actually spoke about this the other day, and we're wanting to find a good place for it here in Hawthorne. We're wanting to find vendors. If you know people, email, let us know. We can start looking into it. And yes, so thank you for that comment. We agree with you.
No, in Spanish, por favor.
Sí, hemos estado hablando de traer a un mercado aquí a Hawthorne. Y hay muchas razones por cuál hacer esto. Trae dinero a la ciudad y también cree un evento de comunidad. Es algo que puedes hacer cada semana. Puedes ir y puedes comprar productos frescos, comida saludable. Y es algo que sí estamos pensando. Estamos mirando a lugares en donde puede ser posible. Estamos mirando a vendedores que quieran estar aquí con nosotros. Y sí, es una gran idea.
And I gotta apologize. So I do have a rescue cat. I might as well just mention it now since he popped on the screen twice. So yeah, came back from the vet. I'm happy he's back. Trying to help me, you know, get the city back on track. So Pamela, I want to
Let me clear that up. Then Haidar tiene un gatito allá, lo ven atrás. Está en la oficina ahorita y regresó del veterinario hoy. Pero aquí está peleando por nuestra ciudad.
thank you for that. Pamela says that my Latin brothers, please don't stop guiding by an elder who has no powerlessness in the community. Oh, I think it's better if you were to translate because the Facebook makes it.
Yes. Pamela Davis says, my Latino brothers and sisters, please don't let yourselves be guided by a mayor that has done nothing for our community just because he is Latino, which is very important. Pamela, I agree, which is why we are trying to push for informing the Latino community of their options and of what we're trying to do. Haidar has good intentions to move the city forward.
Oh wow, that's actually that the translator office didn't give it justice.
I'll translate it. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, of course not. But I was gonna say, sí, eso es lo que estamos tratando de hacer con la comunidad latina. Queremos involucrarlos más. Son una mayor parte de aquí de Hawthorne y queremos informarlos. No queremos que salgan a votar a alguien solo porque es latino, porque a veces sí trabaja eso y a veces no. Entonces queremos informarlos de lo que nosotros estamos haciendo para que ustedes vayan y salgan a votar informados y también se sientan parte de nuestra comunidad.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you for that wonderful comment, and it's a very strong point. To be aware of who's actually talking to you is the most important aspect to everything, and to just have, just to follow it blindly is scary. So I'm glad that residents now are being like aware and cognizant of, you know, what's happening.
She also says,
voice
your
counts.
voice counts. Sí, tu voz cuenta, como dice Pamela Davis aquí en el chat, que es lo que estamos tratando de decirles a ustedes. Tu voz cuenta. No ha habido una elección más importante para votar en nivel nacional y también en nivel local. I just said there has ever been a more important election to vote in. It's this one, you know, on a national level and a local level.
Yeah, that was a very good point. Anna, and we're getting to where Martha said she had to connect, right? We're getting close to it.
Pamela actually did. We're not too close to it, but
okay, I'm gonna get current. Anna Gonzalez.
She says we need more we need more of our police department overseeing our streets. She, I guess, lives on at 120th, 118th, because at night there's a lot of cars that speed past, and they could cause an accident because they live near, you know, apartment buildings and the shopping center, and it's dangerous. So she just wants more looking out from the police department.
Anna, if I was in the one on, you're saying next to the Ralphs, correct?
Yes, the Ralphs.
Yeah, are there any speed bumps on that? Because I know exactly what you're talking about. It seems to be just like a straightaway that they can kind of use to kind of get away from the traffic on Hawthorne Boulevard. And plus there's a lot less lights on there. Yes, I've heard of drag races and just them just late at night, just gunning it down the road. You know, God forbid someone's child is outside playing around or running around, and yeah, that's not what we want to think about. And look, this is something that we should be addressing. Why not? So actually, if
and there's lots of places like that in Hawthorne too.
Where's another very hold on. I know 120th near the Hawthorne Airport is like a mini drag street for some reason.
Hay muchos lugares aquí en Hawthorne, muchas calles donde no tienen brinco para los carros, y entonces los carros van bien rápido, como dice, creo que fue Ana. Hay muchos arranques y es peligroso, y es algo que la ciudad también deberían estar hablando de eso. ¿Cómo pueden arreglar eso?
Also on Prairie and Imperial. No, it's becoming a bigger issue, and I think they're trying to take advantage of, they think there's like less police presence, so like, yeah, we can just no one's on the street. So Anna, if you think a speed bump would actually help resolve that issue, please let me know, and I can actually have you contacted by our city manager. Oh, what happened?
Sí, Ana, si piensa que un brinco puede arreglar ese problema en esas calles, por favor contáctenos. Y nosotros pasamos ese comentario y ese problema a la ciudad para que arreglen eso. Y todos los demás que tengan ese problema, por favor, manden sus quejas, manden sus comentarios. Nosotros los vemos todos y hacemos lo posible para traerlo a la ciudad. I just said, everybody, please send in your comments, send in your complaints, and we see everything and we do our best to take it to the city and have it fixed.
Yeah, and I'll send an email connecting yourself, Anna, with the city manager and our building and safety to have that actually been in there. No, if they're gonna start trying to gun down the street, then if they break their axle because they're trying to be, little hellraisers, well, that's not our concern. Our concern is the safety and well-being of the residents, not their car. Pamela Davis, out of curiosity, why did the city of Hawthorne keep its signs during the riots and protests? I attended the Compton City Peace Walk a few months ago, and it was an amazing, peaceful protest. The mayor was out in the forefront with her community. For the city of the Compton City Peace Walk, yes. I'm very close with Asia Brown. She invited me out to the event, and I agree with you. It was amazing and beautiful just to see the amount of people from every race background you can imagine addressing this issue. And you also had Russell Westbrook out in the community. You also had the Compton Cowboys. It was actually kind of cool to see like live, like, I hear about them, you see them like on Instagram, Facebook, but to actually see them, pull up on horseback, it kind of gives you that extra energy. Like this is like you're part of something. There were a few peaceful protests here in the city of Hawthorne. I want to say 3, and actually there was one today.
Yes, we saw one. Am I muted? No, we saw one today, walking down Prairie and El Segundo, which was awesome.
Yeah, and it was the Nigerian community coming out, protesting the injustices that are happening, especially in Nigeria with the whole SARS movement. Not the SARS, the disease, but the fact that
police brutality in Nigeria is a huge thing, and that's
yes.
Our Nigerian community here in Hawthorne was coming together for that. So yes, going back to the protests from before.
Yeah. So for, I would say maybe the first, out of the first 3 big peaceful protests that here happened in the city of Hawthorne, and in my knowledge, this one being the 4th. There were other small ones as well, but like there were 4 big ones. There was, remember, again, it's all centered around community involvement and freedom of speech. If they're peaceful and it's a community coming together, why chastise it? Why not let them speak their mind? That's the First Amendment right. We're not all going to agree on everything. And you're going to have people on both sides, but to limit and suppress one side from speaking their own mind, why? If there's no fights breaking out and no one's getting hurt, no one's dying, and there's really no aftermath, then why the fight and push to not hear what they're trying to say? So for the 3 marches that they did hold, I was at all 3. And again, it's to show support. It's to show that, look, we are all one community. To be afraid of supporting your community, and each different part of your city is going to have different issues. To not support one over the other, because it may be controversial, you need a backbone. If it's peaceful, you let them speak. Why suppress their voice? Just like what happened at last city council meeting. It seems to be it's like a routine. Suppress, suppress, suppress. No. This is a democracy. You voice your opinion. Whether you agree on whatever is being said or not, on any topic, it doesn't matter what it is. You let people speak their mind as long as it's civil and peaceful. And yes, I agree. There should have been more involvement, kind of like what happened in Congress. And the speech Asia Brown made at the very end with Reverend Jay Walker. Is it Jay Fisher? Oh, he's going to kill me. I had a prayer visual. It was a virtual prayer session visual. Yeah, not visual. It was a peaceful. I'll say a peaceful prayer Zoom session where we had a representative from each faith and Fisher. I have to look it up now because me. It was such a beautiful thing to see, and the reason why I'm going to take time to I think this is that's no problem. Pastor Michael J.T. Fisher. So he was. We had a peaceful prayer event. We had a representative from each religion body: Christian, Baptist, Catholic, Islam, Judaism. Oh, we had individuals that are is it non-denominational? Yeah, that's non-denominational as well. And there was one more. We all came together and each representative basically said their own prayer for everyone suffering through COVID. And I remember Michael Fisher, because he also had a wonderful speech before Asia Brown made her speech at the protest at the end of the walk. And you know, he especially called me out during the event, saying, "Look, are you going to stand and be the elected for the people?" Even though he's in Compton now, like his church is in Compton. This guy, I mean, you have to hear him preach. I mean, it's just it gets you going. Like he really speaks from the heart, and this guy is just something else. And that's on the Facebook too. The video's on there, and you know, he straight out asked me, say, "Look, I want to hear from you right now. Are you going to be for the people? Because you and other electors have to do better. You can't just sit back and placate and say, yeah, we're going to help. Be on the front line. If it's with COVID, be on the front line. If it's for helping any injustices, you be on the front line. But if you're going to stand behind a camera, behind a glass window, behind a door, then just leave." And right then and there, I made that commitment. So for the COVID testing center, when I brought it here in Hawthorne, I go on the front lines. I helped that set it up, and you know, I still go out there testing residents. My mom's still kind of uneasy about it, being around COVID so often. But the sooner we can get this under our belts, the better. The same thing with the protests. They want to have their voices heard. I pushed for it. The individuals that wanted to speak about the unhoused community here in Hawthorne, it became a fight for some reason. It shouldn't have, but it became an issue. I let them speak. Why suppress anyone's voice?
Can you hear me okay? Sí, alguien preguntó sobre las protestas y por qué nuestros líderes de nuestra ciudad nunca se quedaron en silencio. Cuando en otras comunidades cerca de nosotros, los líderes estuvieron ahí en primera línea con sus residentes. Es importante dejar a que tus residentes y que tu comunidad tenga una voz. Y si esos, y no, no callarlos, no mandar a la policía que los... Si todo está pacífico, no hay razón por cual debemos silenciarlos. Aquí en Hawthorne organizaron pensamos que tres protestas pacíficas. Y hoy había una, la vimos cuando iba manejando en el segundo y Prairie. Y todo estaba pacífico, estaban unidos, traían sus máscaras y es algo lindo que también trae a la comunidad, nos une. En los 3 que habían pasado en estos meses, Haidar atendió a todos y también organizó un evento de oración donde tuvo un representante de cada fe que habló y oró por por todos y por todas la salud de todos también en estos tiempos de pandemia. Y eso es algo que nos hace sentir incluidos, nos da voz. Fue bien bonito. Y no es justo que nuestros líderes se escondan detrás, detrás de una cámara. Ahí en ese evento le preguntaron a Haidar, ¿vas a ser un hombre de la gente? Si vas a ser un hombre de la gente, tienes que estar tú con la gente, no puedes, no puedes esconderte detrás de la computadora, no puedes esconderte detrás de una cámara, tienes que estar ahí con la gente para que la gente vea y sienta que tú realmente estás luchando por ellos. Y desde ese día y antes, Haidar hizo esa promesa de ser un hombre para la gente. Y que es algo bien importante para nosotros. Por eso con el sitio de COVID que hizo, para él siempre ha estado ahí, lo visita, va y ve que todo está bien y sí, es muy importante para nosotros estar con nuestros residentes porque así la gente se siente escuchada y sí. Thank you. Y también por eso tenemos todos estos eventos virtuales, porque en estos tiempos no se puede reunir, pero todavía se puede conectar y igual lo hace más fácil, hasta más fácil conectar con ustedes. So gracias por estar aquí con nosotros y atender esto. Esto es algo que vamos a seguir haciendo si ganamos el 3 de noviembre. Yeah. I said, this is something virtual. Being able to connect virtually with the community is even easier, than before. And it's something that we plan on continuing to do. If, knock on wood, there's a win on November 3rd.
Not me, then, as long as you're here, then yeah.
Just me. We can all chat.
You can just, gather everyone together and keep going. Now, we're gonna take a few last questions here. I don't want to keep taking, I want to thank Sarai for giving us all this time. She has a lot of important things to do.
So I'm going to go through a lot of this. I guess we have Tuesday.
Can I just jump in? I think for those of us that speak English too, I'll say it in Spanish, I already said it, but it's really important for us to educate our community members. I'm here because I'm able to transfer information over to our community members who speak Spanish. And those of you who are tuning in, I know it's because you guys care about what's going on in your city, and I encourage you to talk to your family and your friends and your neighbors and have them get involved, because like we said before, like the only way to, well, the best way to make change is to do it together. So yes. You're welcome.
So let's see. It was a wrong move, focusing on the wrong things, more traffic, opportunity for the drug addicts to migrate. You're from Hawthorne, like I am, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We have enough rundown hotels as it is. A lot. And to keep advocating for more hotels, which seems to be, you know, a platform for others running. Why? Well, obviously, if you look at their money line, I think Martinez.
I mean, mute.
Sorry about that. And it's because, you know, they're you know, always look at the money trail. They're being funded by the hotel owners. And 460s are public. Remember, I'm going to be posting all of them up today. I'm actually going to be posting one right now in the chat. I agree. We have enough. Like, when do we start looking at the community needs? Parking structure, more restaurants, more community events, more not events, more community services, and resources, mental health, PACE workers, guidance counselors. Like, there's so many things that we need to address. But yeah, let's keep Martha. Let's keep promising Haidar to win. Vargas has to come out many years of ineptitude.
Promoting. Let's keep promoting Haidar.
That's Facebook, see? See that? Doesn't work. Thank you, sorry.
Why don't we hold a peaceful rally for your campaign? I'll come out and just chill out with my sign up and crowd. And, you know, there's
what we can do is encourage you guys to take all of this information and share it with, you know, your friends and your family. That's the best thing we can do.
And what's sad to say is, after what we've seen, what they've been doing in the last protest, they're going to try and use this and weaponize it. I don't want to give them something to work with.
luckily I was there as a month to kind of help push
and keep going.
Because they deserve it. But now it's time. We got 16 days left. I know they're watching. Even while I'm going to sleep, they're watching my every move to get something. Especially, I think, with the
What I call right. So this one came out. I had another one too. I didn't know I had, you know, this much love. Should I read it or just nah?
Let's just say there was a lot of energy put into putting us down. A lot of energy.
You know, get this much attention. I mean,
talk about divide.
Yeah.
Like there's just like there's things that, like, if my mom were to read these, she would
start tearing up and crying. Like it's sad.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, beyond sad. Anyway,
let's go through a few more comments and then try and wrap up for the evening.
I was very angry with the explanation of the moment.
Yay! Martha, sí. Ay, Marta, sí. Esto es, ojalá tengan la motivación para educar a sus amigos, a su familia, a sus vecinos con esta información para que ellos hagan una decisión informada para votar.
We'll say thank you for putting up the Day of the Dead fundraiser event. So everyone, please, there's the information. Pamela, I agree with you on Larry Guidi era. Please, no. James, look, man, I'm trying.
The fact that you're seeing this in front of the bilingual show, I'll get that in my Spanish. Pamela Davis, we finally got to it.
Yes.
I work for UCLA Health. I can pitch the idea. Please do it. And there is someone else that I've worked for Tess Banco. I know she's also connected with UCLA Health, but on the veteran side, she helped me with the veteran affordable housing project. And if you could pitch that idea, by all means, if they say yes, I'll lock in and make that deal happen for UCLA and the city of Hawthorne and the owner of RK. Like it's amazing to see we're at that line. We're right there. I just need your guys' help to lock it in. And please, so Pamela, if you do have a connect like that, please pitch the idea. We'll work with them. And the permitting process for a medical center in Hawthorne, I guarantee you will not take more than a month because of how desperately the residents want it. Let's see. More.
Mm-hmm.
The big question though is why is the mall owner keeping such a stronghold in the city of Hawthorne? Probably the mall owner is renting out the county of Los Angeles, which don't pay taxes to the city, correct? And not to mention renting out parking space to not one but two major companies. Elon Musk and Prime. Hey, shots fired. I was talking about that at the beginning. And Mama Lisa.
This is why we have to fight back.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Reaching out to Kaiser and Harvey City or Harvard UCLA. Either.
The fact that it's now officially on the market to be taken over as a medical center. If there's a small opening, let me know and who to contact, and I'll tell you. Sadly, I can't even buy a home at the age of 29 in my own community on top of having a good job. Right?
They can't hear you well. Sorry, I'm reading forward. I think they may be dying.
How about now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
It is sad that
A lot of residents are having that same issue, and that's what we have to address. It's a crime to change the gender without notice to the public. It is a crime. Well, they did notify the public by having the smallest print of where this sits be changed by not saying that they changed it. They said, well, we posted it online. So something that's never been changed for decades. Now they're supposed to be cognizant of what? Yeah, no. There it goes. Grisel, Prada, thank you for always joining every meeting. How can the residents comment on action against or report city officials violating the Brown Act? By contacting the district attorney, who I'll actually be placing on the chat, because we are also in talks with the attorney general and the district attorney, and the complaint and investigation is, I'm happy to say, officially going to start this upcoming
week on the misuse of public funds and public property for campaigning. Woo, man, I'm telling you, if I wasn't there to like kind of have all this come out, nothing. They'll just let it. Even our own city attorney knew. Oh, well, I mean, I filed a complaint. I'm like, come on.
Oh, you know what? They still can't hear you. I think they're maybe dying. You're cutting in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna, hay muchas cosas que si no fuera por Haidar que las trae a las juntas, que las trae y los repite y las pelea, que la ciudad nunca se fijaría en esas cosas. Entonces sigan diciéndonos.
Let's see.
We can't hear you. I can't hear you. Take them out.
Hello? Yep. Awesome. I don't know if I can hear them now. Hold on. That is true. Sorry. It's getting late. What was I talking about? Sheila, thank you for jumping on. And like I mentioned to one of the other residents prior, if your street is having that issue, especially with running donuts, huh? Please let my office know. There is a reporting link on my website, but text me, and if your community is wanting a speed bump, I will contact you with our public works department and our city manager, who would guide you throughout the way. And then at the same time, in contact with our PD department when it comes to on the traffic bureau side for the donuts and putting everyone in harm's way. So please, anyone like that, please let me know. Send me an email and I'll get working. We'll have time for two more. I'm sorry, everyone, but we'll have more, of course.
Will you turn off them? Si tienen alguna calle específica donde están teniendo problema con los carros que van muy rápido, que hagan esas arrancadas, por favor, mándenos. Pueden mandarle un mensaje de texto a Haidar, pueden mandarle un correo electrónico y nosotros le pasamos esta información a los que están encargados de poner un brinco ahí o arreglar esas calles.
Okay, let's see. Take, was it one more? Did I say one or two? Okay. Your voice gets slower. Mia, thank you for joining. What is going on here is that we're having a bilingual virtual town hall to be bringing all the communities together. And I'm sorry that it was going in and out, so I took off the headphones, but I'm happy to see that you came in swinging and voted for me. Every vote counts. I love the fact that you guys have that much trust in me. And look, I'm going to be making sure that I don't disappoint anyone here in the city of Hawthorne, because I would have my mom to answer for that, and she still scares me.
Yeah. Gracias a todos por sus votos y cada voz cuenta. Entonces salgan a votar. Gracias por todo su apoyo.
And with that, we actually got to the end of the comments. I'm glad. Again, I want to thank all you guys for participating. Remember, Tuesday we have a radio show, and Sarai is going to be interviewing. Monday, I have another town hall. And at the same time, as I promised, let me just upload one of the many other 460s I'm going to be so happy to just give out to the people, right? Just why not? Because City Hall should be doing this, by the way. But no, apparently it's too hard to take already digitized documents and then repost them. Yeah.
Haidar va a poner los documentos que explican todas las donaciones. Will you mute yourself? Todas las donaciones que agarran todos los que están corriendo en la elección para que ustedes vean por su cuenta de lo que estamos hablando. Y que es verdad. Con mucho gusto les enseñamos.
Now, how do I? So I take this. Did he go? I'm trying to upload a file. Correct. Is it still live on? You see am I moving? Ah, okay, on my side is a little off. Let me see. Just to drag it. Hold on. Hey, you should be able. I'm gonna try one thing right here. Let me see. I see. I think. Oh, wait. Here it is. Yes. And copy. Nice. Here we go. Paste. And 3, 2. Okay, now it's gonna work. If not, I'm just gonna put it as a. You can send them off with me saying how much I appreciate everyone coming out. Is that what you're gonna say or no? No. Never mind.
Esperen, estén listos para la información que les vamos a mandar sobre el show de radio que va a pasar el martes. La hora exacta no la tenemos, pero esperen esa información mañana, probablemente, para que escuchen. Es 100% en español. No, it didn't work.
So everyone, I'll post it right after. It's weird I can't post it on here, but it's okay. I'll have it on my page in a few moments. With that, again, I want to thank you guys all for joining me today. Join me again tomorrow and for Tuesday's special show. And again, a big shout out to Sarai. She has he's a rescue, okay? A laundry list of things to do. A lot more than I have to do day to day. So please, everyone, thank her for giving her time and being a wonderful host and a wonderful translator and dealing with myself and my cat here.
Ya, como dije, les vamos a mandar la información. También mañana va a tener Haidar otro town hall de como estos, con donde pueden preguntar preguntas. También recuerden que a cualquier día, a cualquier tiempo pueden mandar una pregunta, se va a ver. Y sí, gracias por su tiempo. Y gracias por estar aquí.
So with that, everyone, I hope you guys have a wonderful night.
También recuerden que a
oh.
cualquier día, a cualquier tiempo pueden mandar una pregunta, se va a ver. Y sí.
So with that, everyone, again, thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the evening for office hours and in the afternoon door knocking. Bye, guys.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.